Being productive, working from home is not easy. On today's episode, we're going to talk to you how you can make sure you're still being productive while working from home. Oh, this is good for everybody today. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we have Jazz Takar coming on the show. Dude is killing it on Instagram. But beyond that, his organization as a whole is just doing some amazing things. I mean, during the pandemic, let me just tell you some of the stats. Right now, he and his team he's closed over $62 million in sales during this pandemic. And his team is the number one sales team in Canada for Royal LePage. And they're doing some amazing things over the course of his career. Man has closed like $1.4 billion in sales. It's over 15 years. So he knows what he's talking about. He comes with some wisdom, and he has a workforce that's working remotely, and he's trying to help them to stay motivated and stay productive. So whatever he's sharing with his team, listen, you could take it and use it as well. As we go into this interview, you're going to hear about some of the things that he's doing, how he's doing great on social media, and this is going to naturally lead into the conversation about how we can help ourselves to be more productive while working from home. Oh, and by the way, I'm holding my mic today because I literally had just got my new setup sent to me, and I forgot to get that piece that hooks the mic to the actual mic stand. So we're recording today, and I'm holding my mic. So I hope you enjoy it. I feel like I'm like an old school, like a host or somebody. It's not unusual. Anyways, all right, let's go into the episode. Welcome to the show, Jazz.
Thanks for having me, Donald. Really appreciate it, my man. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain, bro. You're killing it on the gram. You're killing it on the gram.
Well, look, I appreciate that, and big kudos to you too, man, because I know how hard it is as a fellow content creator to produce content on a daily basis, especially a macro piece like a podcast, just getting guests, booking them, equipment, all that kind of stuff, right? So I really appreciate you having me on. And yeah, man, look, I think Instagram for me, I like it because it is punchy, right? Like you go 1 minute or you can go maybe 8, 9, 10 minutes on IGTV, but I'm trying to sprinkle some of my content on all the platforms. And so right now we produce about, in total, I think on a daily basis right now, Donald, myself and my squad are at about 20 pieces of content daily.
Wow. And that's all on a variety of platforms, not just...
Yeah, so we heavily focus on Instagram, YouTube, like the iTunes and Spotify's and podcast platforms of the world, Facebook, and now going to be taking LinkedIn very, very seriously. I've been kind of dabbling in it, but now I got one of my new interns who's been on my back to make sure that we produce a lot more daily content there. So yeah, man, I'm having a blast. I love content. I love creating content. I like the sound of my own voice, and maybe that's why I produce so much of it. But people are giving me the feedback; they're liking it, and so why not continue? I'm having look, I mean, anybody who watches or listens to me, you'll know that it's hard to decide if this guy's working or having fun. And for me, I think I found my hybrid now.
Yeah, and I love that. You have to be able to do you don't have to do anything. You want to do something that you're gonna have that passion for when it comes to Monday morning, and you work late for it because it's exciting. You want to help. You have a mission that's bigger than just like the initial dollars or whatnot.
Yeah, man. Like for me, I mean, look, I mean, growing up in school, I loved Friday night, right? Like especially I grew up in Rexdale, so there wasn't a lot of people to look up to, but it was my crew and the people that I used to hang out with, right? And Friday night was a fun night. We all waited for that, right? Now, I'm not looking forward to Friday nights. It's been probably a good 15 years since I enjoyed a Friday night, because I know the rest of the team is going to take it off, and as they should. They have other things that they're doing in their lives, but Saturdays and Sundays, I'm itching, right? Like especially Sunday around 6 o'clock, I start to get that itch. I can't wait to get back to the grind with the crew. And that look, if you find something that you're completely passionate about, you're going to put in the extra reps. And
Yeah.
that's how you're gonna get a bigger return in terms of money, because I know that's a big scorecard people like to watch.
Yeah.
And so if you're passionate, as you mentioned, Donald, I think you're just going to wake up that much earlier. You're going to have a harder time going to sleep. You're going to put in the work more, which means that you're going to give that much value to the marketplace. And he or she, whoever gives the most value to the marketplace, gets rewarded. Always been like that, is right now, and I think will always continue to be that.
Bro, you're preaching some good stuff here, man. Just like right on the money, and I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm excited that you're going to LinkedIn too. By the way, you've seen some stats with LinkedIn. I'm glad you got that intern, whoever she or he is that helped you with. But the LinkedIn, I think only 3% of, or some crazy number like that, of LinkedIn users are getting all of the exposure every week because it's such a small percentage of people who are posting stuff out there. And people like you who have great content, it'll be a no-brainer. So
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I like what I wanted to make sure that we were doing is bringing value to the people that were there. So
yeah,
not only just repurposing whatever we were doing on the other platforms. And so we're going to actually go, because I've been in sales and service for 25 years, hence why I was so excited once I saw the name of your podcast, right? Like I owe everything to the sales industry. And so I said, look, what can I be? How can I be different on LinkedIn? I was like, I just want to speak about sales, how
yeah,
I mastered it, how I believe I mastered it, because the saying is that if you do something for 10,000 hours, we calculated it's 27,000 hours now for me in sales and service. And so I'm only going to be speaking to salespeople, consultants, and advisors on LinkedIn, because the other part of my life is real estate, which I've been
yeah.
doing for 15 years. But I said, look, people can consume that real estate content everywhere else. I really want to focus in on sales.
Money. You're onto something, Jess. You're
I
onto
think
something,
so.
bro.
Thank you. Means a lot coming from you, brother. It really does. Thank you.
Well, this is what I want to go into next. Actually, is you alluded to this, your team, and going to the sales side, you come with that experience. So many of the sellers right now are working remote, where they're doing all kinds of stuff at home, like changing diapers and making a call and closing a deal and cooking dinner, and how do we maintain our sales productivity even while working from home? Can you wrap on that for a little bit?
Yeah, look, I think high level in sales, it's how many people are you speaking with, how many conversations you're having. In fact, if you can, and I'll definitely talk about how to do it, but just from a mindset perspective at first, that most people who've been in sales for a very long time, they actually had an advantage pre-COVID. And the advantage was is that if you were able to get belly to belly with people, face to face, you were probably a better closer.
Yeah,
Now the playing field is even. We're all on the same playing field. We can't meet with everyone. Majority of the time, you can't meet with people face to face. Today, where I'm calling from is Toronto. Like we're on a complete lockdown now for the second time, right? So you can't really meet with a lot of people face to face. So understand now everyone's on the same playing field. We have to do this digitally. If we weren't in a lockdown, we might have been doing this face to face ourselves, Donald. But so knowing as a salesperson that you now are on the same playing field as everyone else. Now you just need to be able to structure your day. So for me, what do I do first thing? First thing in the morning, I like to call my warmest prospects, somebody who's already said to me, look, I am considering buying, selling, or investing in real estate. I like to do that first and foremost. Why? Because that's where I'm going to get the highest return. Somebody who's already said yes to me, it's now just part of, like, maybe I had a conversation with them 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago. My follow-up is to call them first thing in the morning. Let's have that conversation. I also create momentum. How good does it feel for anybody who's in sales and has sold anything in their life, even once? When you make that sale, that's the best feeling in the world. That's why you're probably doing it. It's also the best time to reach out to somebody.
Mm.
When you do a sale, it's the best time to reach out to a new prospect is right after you've made a sale. Why? Because you just kind of like, feel a little lighter. You don't have that desperate commission breath at that time. You're almost like like, Donald, if you buy from me, great. If you don't, because you already know you just did a deal, you got money coming
Money in
in.
the bank already.
Unfortunately, some of the salespeople, they've already spent that money, before you even came. But you're just confident, man. You're confident. You got the swag. It's kind of borderline cockiness sometimes, right? But so that's the best time. It's why I hit up all my hot prospects first. Okay, first thing in the morning. Second comes to anyone who's probably like a 5 out of 10, who said, maybe I'm not sure, stay in touch with me. So
Mm.
I like to think of prospects as like kind of like a green apple meaning like they're saying stay in touch with me. Red apple, nice and juicy, ready to go. That's the first call that I make, is my red apples. My green apple is someone who said just stay in touch, they're not ripe yet. And then we all have that, right? You have rotten apples, and not to call people rotten, but you have the people who said, don't ever call me again. That's my cold prospects. So I call them third. First, hot prospects. Second, green apples, people who said, let's stay in touch. That's your follow up. You got to follow up with people. And then third is anybody who's cold. So if you're cold calling, door knocking, online leads to me, like I personally don't do a lot of cold online Google AdWords stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but they're going to get my time during like later on in the day. So my advice to anybody who's watching or listening is call them later on in the day. Call the people that are ready to go or said stay in touch with me. And then that's how I kind of go through my day.
No, I love it, and I like that idea of the approach there with red, green, and then rotten, so to speak, or the other ideas there to that. I love the concept too about going. I did door-to-door security sales one point, and Jazz, I cannot tell you how many times it was like, no matter what day of the week it is, no matter what it is, but if I close a door and got them to buy a security system, it was naturally like the next two doors, I'm going to get some more sales. It wasn't that the neighborhood changed. It wasn't that the community changed. It wasn't that all of a sudden they went around online and said, buy from this kid knocking on doors. It was just the fact that I was the difference. I was the delta that changed in that process. And I'm 100% on board with you with that. So especially when sellers are being productive at home, I love the concept. Start off the morning right, man. Go to do the thing that's going to be the best, as opposed to going into your email and sitting in your email and complaining about, doing all of that, the other stuff. Plan your morning with the most productive stuff. Love that. Love it, man. Dang.
Momentum, right? It's all about momentum, right? And so even if it's funny, like if you look at some of the content that I produce on a daily basis, let's take IG, as you mentioned. I probably put out my most positive piece of content first thing in the morning. I'm going to say 98% of my content's positive. That's just who I am by nature. And so, but I'm trying to come out of the gate firing. And so that's what I want somebody else on the other line, on their phone, on their desktop to see as well. So always do the highest producing activities first thing in the morning, because then you'll get that momentum. So for example, like, writing back emails, for me, it's tough. I have a very, very tough time. First of all, I don't own a computer. I haven't touched a computer in coming up to almost 3 years. I'm sure someone on my team will correct me. Yeah, I got away from my computer 3 years ago almost, man, because it just wasn't productive for me. I'm a lot more productive on the phone. I do everything. I have, with my business partner, I have a team of 39 real estate agents now, 11 support staff. I run the whole organization from this phone. I'm talking to you on a phone right now, not even a computer. Yeah, man. And so why? Because I don't like writing long emails. And so I generally reply back to somebody who writes me an email and say, hey, when's a good time to get on a call? Because I know I'm best on a phone call.
Yeah.
First and foremost, face to face, but on a phone call or on a Zoom. I'm animated. Look how many times I've been moving my hands. My videographers hate it because I get off of like whatever they call it, out of screen or off of screen or whatever. But I like to be on a phone call because that's how I think I'm going to be best from an influencing perspective. If you hear my voice, right? Not typing away. And so, look, sometimes you got to put out fires. You're in sales, you're in client service, unless it's something super urgent, which it very rarely is. Even if a client is aggravated or frustrated, I'm definitely going to get to it, but I'm not going to get to it first thing in the morning. Why? Because it just throws my day off. And I would rather have enough time to think about, hey, how am I going to get back to this client? Where's really the opportunity for me to fix this problem with a client that might be frustrated. Okay, I can think through, maybe it's time to send some cupcakes, maybe it's time to send some wine. Yeah, whatever it is, it gives me a little bit more time throughout the day to get creative, to come up with a better solution. So that's why I'm a big advocate of starting off, like on Monday mornings, it's a sales meeting right away.
Yeah.
Like first thing in the morning, I want to set the tone for the week with my crew. And that's why I do all those high producing activities really early.
Bro, yeah, you're like the pep rally that they need for every day, getting them that juice flowing. I love it, man. One other tip, any other tip you would give to somebody working from home to make sure they maintain that productivity with their sales?
Yeah, look, I think the biggest tip I can give you right now during this lockdown, as well as really in life, especially if you're at home. And this is coming from a gentleman that at the start of the pandemic back in March, we were the whole organization was working from home for 10 weeks. I kept an online Zoom meeting running from 8:30 in the morning till 6 p.m. at night. We were all signed on. It wasn't that you had to be there because I was trying to micromanage. In fact, I'm not a good manager at all. It was more from hey, let's just feel like we're working together. So Luke, when you go get some food, if you're comfortable with it, eat it with us on screen. Let's just pretend like we're almost there physically. And what the reason I set it up like that was because I wanted to do my best to have my squad on a news diet. So if you're at home right now, go on a news diet. I don't think you're going to get much positive information. You need to know how many cases they are. I'm sure there's an app that can send you that information first thing in the morning. Get your fix, find out how many cases they are. I'm not saying stay away from it. Learn it, understand it, yes, for sure. But do you need to sit and listen to the prime minister, the president, the premier, the whatever, talk about this thing all day long? Like, they don't know what they're doing half the time.
Yeah.
I don't think that you and I know what the heck this is all about yet, and like how to fix this. So get the information that you need, shorten it, like get it in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I know for a fact there's an app that can send you the numbers or the deaths and the hospital, like all the stuff that you need in 2 seconds. You don't need to sit and watch the news for 6 hours, because that negativity will creep into your head. And then whatever you think about, you're going to start to have feelings about it. And that's what you're putting out to the world. And I have some news for you. That's what you're going to get back. Whatever you put out is what you get back. So garbage in, garbage out. Drown out that noise. And how you do that is listen to a podcast like Donald's. Get that into your head, as much positive information as you possibly can. That's my tip. I know it was long-winded, but if there's anything that I could try to help somebody with, it's drowning out that noise, drowning out the negativity.
Well, man, I love the tip, and it wasn't long. It was just perfect, man. So, we got some ideas here, some things that we could take and we could apply. And somebody listening to this right now on, this morning, I want you to listen to Jazz. I want you to take what he's doing. And I want you to apply it and come back and hit us up. And I want you to follow him on Instagram. We have some information. If you're watching this on TSE TV, you'll see some information pop up at the bottom with Jazz handles. So I want you to go connect with him. But Jazz, besides that, where should people go if they want to become your friend? They want to connect with you and learn from you, bro.
Yeah, man. Look, I really appreciate that. Look, I got so much, like my cup is full, right? So for me, like, I just want to give back. So I'll answer that really quickly. But to you, Donald, like, tell me how I can bring you value. Somebody who's watching or listening, I want to bring you value. I got way more than I ever signed up for. I mean, if you want to connect on digitally, just go to jazztakar.ca, JASTAKHAR That's a place that it's a one-stop shop for me, but I really truly am just trying to give back. I got like an amazing squad around me. I got people who would run through walls for me. I got an amazing family set up. Like, I got everything, man. Now it's my time to give back. So I really hope somebody reaches out and just ask questions. I'm an open book from a sales perspective. I want to give everything. It's why I try to get everything in one sentence half the time, because I'm trying to give as much people value as I possibly can.
Well, man, I love it, and we can see why, man. Why you're so passionate, and what the value you bring. So, thank you again, man. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, that was my good friend Jazz, and he's killing it on Instagram. He's taken his talent over to LinkedIn as well. So if you want to go and connect with him, you can find the information there. You're watching this on YouTube, on TSE TV, you see the links. And I ask you subscribe if you're first time watching, or if you've watched many of our shows but you just never subscribe. Subscribe and hit that chime button, man. I'll notify you whenever we have a new episode coming out. And also, man, check out what some of the things that Jazz is doing. Check out his content that he's producing, how much content he's putting out, and how much value he's dropping. It's loads of wisdom. I want you to succeed. So that's why I bring folks like him on a show. I want you to find more of those ideal customers. I want you to take advantage of our sponsors, man. They're giving you some great offers. Check out what they're doing. Use the tools. See the success. And once you see the success, you're going to come back and say, Donald, you're right, brother. You're right. And I'm like, I know. Anyways, check out the cool things Jazz producing, and let me know if I can help you in any way. We want you to find more of those ideal customers. We want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. We want you to close more deals. But most importantly, we want to challenge you to change your mindset each and every single day to go out and do big things. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video today. If you enjoyed the content, I ask you to go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up in the bottom right-hand corner. Also, to make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This way, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest sales strategies, latest tools, and things that are going to help you to not only find more prospects, but to close more deals. Thanks so much.